The evolution of the Batmobile from 1989 to 2025. It's been a Gothic work of art, a military-grade tank, and a V8-powered beast that looks like it was born in a garage. The Batmobile is so much more than just a car. It's a rolling reflection of the man behind the mask. But have you ever stopped to wonder why each one is so radically different? It's not just about what they can do, it's about what they say. Today, we're tracing the on-screen evolution of Batman's legendary ride, from 1989 to the near future, to show you how each design was a blueprint for a completely different Dark Knight. Let's kick things off with the one that changed the game. Before 1989, the Batmobile was often just a souped-up car with some bat fins. Then director Tim Burton and designer Anton Furst unleashed this monster. Part jet engine, part Gothic sculpture, this Batmobile was a statement piece. It was impossibly long, low, and sleek. Built by splicing together two Chevrolet Impala chassis, it was powered by a Chevy V8, but the real showstopper was the massive front turbine that looked like it was ripped straight off a fighter jet. This wasn't just a car, it was the perfect partner for Michael Keaton's shadowy, almost mythical Batman. It came loaded with grappling hooks, shin breakers, and even a bat missile mode that shed its outer shell to squeeze through tight alleys, often destroying half the car in the process. This was no public hero's ride. It was a weapon for a creature of the night. Then Joel Schumacher took over, and subtlety got thrown right out the window. For Batman Forever, designer Barbara Ling created a car that felt more organic, with exposed ribs and wings that glowed with bright blue neon. It was flashy, completely over the top, and practically designed to be a toy. In a fitting end, it was destroyed halfway through the movie. For Batman and Robin, Ling doubled down, creating a single-seater roadster that stretched an insane 30 feet long with a completely open cockpit. These cars were a direct reflection of Schumacher's campy, colorful take on Batman. Less Dark Knight, more Las Vegas headliner. After all that neon excess, Christopher Nolan brought Batman crashing back down to reality. And he did it in a tank. The Tumbler was unlike anything we had ever seen. Nolan and designer Nathan Crowley envisioned it as a cross between a Lamborghini and a military tank. This thing was an absolute beast. Weighing in at 2.5 tons and packing a 500-horsepower Chevy V8, it could launch from 0 to 60 in under 6 seconds and perform 30-foot jumps without any CGI assistance. It wasn't built for style, it was a piece of military hardware designed for urban warfare, perfectly reflecting Christian Bale's pragmatic, tactical Batman. The Tumbler was all about pure, intimidating utility. When Zack Snyder introduced his Batman to the DCEU, he needed a car that could hold its own against Superman. The result was a brutal fusion of the Tumbler's heavy armor and a sleeker, more aggressive design. Designed by Dennis McCarthy and Patrick Tatopoulos, this Batmobile was a 7,000-pound, 20-foot-long war machine. It was armed to the teeth with machine guns, sonar, and anti-ballistic systems. This Batmobile was the perfect mirror for Ben Affleck's older, battle-hardened Batman, a tired soldier fighting an epic war. And that brings us to the latest incarnation. For The Batman, director Matt Reeves stripped everything back to its raw, bare essentials. This Batmobile isn't a tank or a fantasy vehicle. It's a terrifyingly real piece of American muscle. While its design is heavily inspired by a second-generation Dodge Charger, it's actually a completely custom-fabricated car. It looks like something Bruce Wayne built himself in his garage. With an exposed steel frame and a roaring V8 engine, it's a brutal, functional, and deeply intimidating machine. It perfectly captures the spirit of Robert Pattinson's younger, grittier Batman. Less of a polished superhero, more of a relentless detective with a serious taste for vengeance. So, what does the future hold? With The Batman Part 2 in the works, and a new Batman set to appear in the DCU's The Brave and the Bold film, the evolution is far from over. No designs have been confirmed, which leaves us all to wonder. Will Andy Muschietti, the director of The Brave and the Bold, lean into a more fantastical comic book aesthetic to contrast with Reeves's gritty realism? Or will we see yet another grounded take on the Dark Knight's ride? The door is wide open. From a sleek Gothic icon to a glowing neon advertisement, a military tank, an armored behemoth, and finally, a raw piece of muscle. The Batmobile's journey is as varied as the men who've driven it. Each car is a rolling symbol of the Batman of its era. But that's just our take. Now we want to hear from you. Which Batmobile is the undisputed king of Gotham's streets? Are you a fan of the '89 classic, the unstoppable Tumbler, or the new V8 monster? Drop your favorite in the comments below and let the great debate begin. Thanks for watching.